Hello everyone, this is Dikshak Bhatt this side from Team OYG. On behalf of Team, I welcome you all on again virtual platform. And today we have a wonderful speaker, Dr. Pawan Kumar with us. Dr. Pawan Kumar will guide us on the career exploration on the Masters with Public Health. Dr. Pawan Kumar is a naturopath, public health professional, and a WASH specialist. Completed his BNYS in 2015 from the Gandhi Naturopathy Medical College, Hyderabad. He has done the MPH from the Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Mumbai, and UNICEF and TSS's joint PGD Water and Sanitizer Hygiene. He has worked with the India's leading NGOs such as Tata Trust, Care India. He also worked as research officer in National Institute of Naturopathy, Pune for a year. Currently, he is working and monitoring the officer in UNICEF Maharashtra. Today, he will guide us on the BNYS opportunities after the after the bachelor's and especially on masters in public health. I welcome sir on this virtual platform and thank you so much for giving your time and joining with us today.
Thank you,
Now, without
Diksha.
further ado, sir, I would like you to take over. I hope I haven't missed anything from your introduction.
Okay, now you pretty much summed up everything from starting to now. So, okay, so it will be a question and answer session, or I'll just keep on going.
It, we can do both, sir. First, you could just guide us on the topics which you want, and if there is anything, I will ask you the question.
Or else, okay, then fine. So let me see. Let me tell you. I'll start with my journey, how I found MPH and how I started it all, everything. So I completed my graduation in 2015 from Gandhi Naturopathy Medical College, Hyderabad. Then for a year, I practiced naturopathy. So I did jobs in naturopathy in Hyderabad in some clinics. So then I wanted to do a master. So I was exploring the options, what can be done, either it be MD or anything else. So by then, being a naturopathy graduate, most of my seniors were doing MD in naturopathy. So I also wanted to do it, but and then again I thought of let's do something else. So by then, one of my senior, his name is Ashok Kadawat, was doing MPH from Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Mumbai, and after that he placed in a very nice job. So I thought of let's do MPH and what are the institutes for it. So I kind of explored few institutes, given the entrance for Hyderabad Central University and IIHMR. I selected for those both, but Tata Institute of Social Sciences, admissions, uh, will get completed a little bit early. So what I did, I joined a small 9 months small post graduation diploma program, which is TIS and UNICEF jointly, conducting. So I joined that program. Uh, so then after that, I joined MPH. So after PGD WASH, which is postgraduate graduate diploma in water sanitation and hygiene, which is TIS and UNICEF program, which I've just said, so which has also a good placements. It has only 20 seats and for the all over India. So and after 9 months program, they offer for 1 year young fellowship, young professional program. So they pay you around 90,000 per month. So I got that opportunity, but I still wanted to do some complete master. So I did not join young professional program. Then I joined MPH in Tata Institute of Social Sciences Mumbai campus. So then, so that's what. So since um, there might be few students who are looking for the options in doing MPH or administrative course or management course. So I just thought of let's give what I have explored or what I have done, kind of little bit research before joining the MPH. So I wanted to share this. So that's what I'm here now.
Actually, it's a courageous that you just go for an NGO and rejecting the 90,000 jobs. So I think it's a too courageous step who you did, and it's inspiring for many people.
Thank you, Dikshak. So come to MPH or MHA. MPH is Masters in Public Health, and MHA would be either hospital administration or health administration. And few institute will provide management courses also, like hospital management. So all these courses are, for now in this era, they are giving good placements, and these are very good domains to explore.
Yeah.
Currently, public health has become an emerging domain in the recent days, recent years. I'll start up with these colleges, list of colleges. So uh, I'll start with my college, Tata Institute of Social Sciences, which has 4 courses under this health school umbrella. So health policy, economics, and finance is one course which I have done, and uh, social epidemiology is another course. These both comes under public health course. Then under MHA,
Okay.
health or hospital administration, these are the 2 courses comes under MHA. So anything you choose, there would be a wonderful career opportunities and good placements. So Tata Institute is known for the placements, and initial package will be, it depends on which domain you are selecting, which thing. So if you select a government job, then it depends on state by state. And like, let's say 50,000 is a medium range. And if you choose
Mhm.
NGOs, that are those things also initially will pay you 50,000 around. If you have being a Tata Institute student, you'll get this advantage of working in healthcare IT. So if you are good at
Yeah.
this kind of and health biostats, or medical codings and all these things, you are good at data, then you can explore healthcare IT, and they will pay you initially more than 70-80,000. So those kind. If you are even class topper, or very good in academics, they will pay you more also. Like your package will go from 20 to 25 lakhs. So that kind of packages you'll get. And you'll
Wow.
again, advantage of be the student is like, you'll have plenty of opportunities. Like, you one person, you can choose literally. There will be 3-4 jobs open for you, and you can literally choose and pick up which one you want. So those kind of opportunities you'll get from that particular institute. It is known for the placements. So that's about Tata Institute. And just opposite to Tata Institute, you have another one institute called International Institute of Population Sciences. So this is just beside the MPH and MHA. These are not public health courses, or uh, administrative courses, but it is, they provide masters in. So this institute is International Institute of Population Sciences. So they'll give you very nice placements. And the advantage there is, like, they provide stipend for all of their students, for everyone.
Oh, that's
And
great. Yeah.
getting selected into IAPS is bit easy than TIS, because TIS has a hectic procedure of admission, like online exam, then direct exam, essay writing, and then personal interview. So these 3 things are there. But IIPS also has a three this same kind of admission procedure, but comparatively easy. So these are the 2 very good options somebody can explore. These both are in Mumbai.
All right, sir.
The other institute is IIHMR. It is in Gandhinagar, Indian Institute of Hospital Management and Research. So mostly hospital research kind of things. So and it has very good placements. So it's a commercial, like, kind of business school, and they'll train you well in hospital administration and research. So if you want to particularly explore hospital administration, then that will be a very good option, because hospital administration courses has comparatively very good placements, and but domain will be restricted. But otherwise, our job opportunities are very good in hospital administration, or health administration, or health management, per se, hospital management. So that's another institute. And we have another exclusive institute, IIPH, from PHFI, Public Health Foundation of India. Then Indian Institute of Public Health. So it has also branches in Delhi, Hyderabad, and there are 2-3 other branches also there. They are also exclusively provide masters in public health courses. So advantages of studying there in IIPH is because that being a that was under ministry few years back. So it conducts so many uh, projects, government projects. So getting what is the advantage is, like, if you are a student of that particular institute, then chances of getting selected into that those projects is very high. So
Yeah.
your placements is like very much secured in
Yeah,
IIPH.
opportunities you will get better there.
Yes. So that is the thing. Another one is recently I came to know that NIMHANS is one institute in Bangalore, which is very renowned and world class institute, right, for the mental health and neurological sciences. So they are also providing MPH, and they'll pay you very nice stipend for all of their students. And so if anybody is economically not
Yeah.
and if somebody who want to earn in this their student life also, I mean, like, earn means they want to meet their
While
expenses
doing
in this
masters, yeah.
during the study. So then NIMHANS would be a very good option. And I exactly don't know what are the placements there, but since it is very non-institute, there would be no problem for the placements, I hope. So that's another one institute, and another next one is in Jipmar, Pondicherry. So Pondicherry is also providing MPH, and studying. What are the advantages? Is these all courses are feasible. TIS and NIMHANS and JIPMAR, these are all comparatively give I mean, the cost of the courses is bit low, so these are very feasible. But perhaps IIHMR and IIPH has approximately 2.5 to 3 lakhs per annum course fees. So that one need to think, but placements they provide is very high also. That also somebody needs to think. Then other than these, uh, AIMS Rishikesh and then two other AIMS branches also providing MPH. And so placements would be, I can't say now, this is too early about saying placements, how it will be in AIMS and all. So since AIMS is also very renowned institute, there will be no problem with placements. Other than that, now every central university is providing MPH courses. Let's say Hyderabad Central University or Pune University. So these comes in the front line in the central universities. Hyderabad Central University has comparatively very good placements. Their students working in almost every organizations now. It has very big network and all. And Pune University has also a good name. And other than this, Symbiosis Institute and other few private institutes also providing MPH. Or hello,
Yeah, yeah.
yes,
Your
Diksha.
network issues.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what the thing. These are about institute, Diksha. So
So I think there is
um,
a lots of option for the students who are pursuing and thinking about career exploration in MPH.
yeah, true. So if somebody wants to, if but I suggest that if anybody is truly want to, do clinical jobs, or so few people may, only be interested in clinical side. So if then
Yeah.
MPH or administration jobs would not be, so much, interesting to you. But see, then you need to do MD, or other options are there. So those you can choose. But if you are open to do, I mean, like, other than clinical jobs, or you want to find a government job or any NGO or healthcare IT or in the research
Hmm.
side, or administrative kind of jobs or management kind of jobs, then do MPH or MHA. Then the entire world is open for you. I mean, there are so many domains will be open for you. After doing these courses. Yeah.
Why you choose the MPH? Like there are options available, so many courses. So what the spark that attracted you towards the MPH?
Right. So basically, see, I was kind of doing um, like a medical officer, naturopath medical officer in a trust hospital. So we used to do like conducting camps and all, going outside, doing, going to the rural places and, and conducting the camps and all. So this was like a bit interesting to me. So by then, and other factor is like I want to study in a bigger institute, like premier institute, and big university. So that was kind of fancy to me. So so that time, so I explored the options. What are the institutes and all. So then I came to know about this Tata Institute. I was following up since 1-2 years, before me joining into MPH. So nothing much motivation, but these are the two small reasons why I chose MPH.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As per you suggested so many institutes, which institute you recommend? Like 2 or 3 institutes you recommend for the students?
But not that. It depends. If somebody wants to do in their own state, then you can choose from any central university
Yeah.
from your state only. So if you want to do, if somebody is Keralite, then they can do, they 2-3 universities in Kerala, they can do from there. Or if somebody is, see, I suggest TIS, IAHMR, and IIPH. These are the institutes will give you very good placements, and these three institute alumni members has a very big network. As beside these three, HCU also has a big alumni network, and they're doing so well. So these are four institutes, and beside these, JIPMAR is also a nice option. So after all, if somebody wants to do in their places, and they also think about the feasibility also. TIS and JIPMAR and NIMHANS, these kind of IAPS, Population Sciences Institutes, these
Yeah.
courses are little bit, feasible, and placements are so good. And if you can pay like 2.5 to 3 lakhs per annum, then go for IAHMR and IIPH. So it depends really.
Yeah, the person and their interest is about how they wanted to pursue.
Yeah.
So if the person who doesn't have an idea about what MPH is, so how would you describe MPH in a brief introduction of an MPH? What is it and what kind of a work a person has to do after the masters?
Okay. So MPH. So we basically, being a clinician, we basically deal with direct, curative part of curative part of the thing, So, but being a public health, you deal with prevention, and you will deal with, curative, and you do deal with, So the main your work, depends on data. Your and your your scope of work will be larger. Okay, the research comes in, and you will, either if you, do a government job, then again get to, you are the main person to implement government programs, health programs. So these are, you are targeting more number of people, public health and public health. So you are not targeting one person, but you are targeting a larger kind of
The entire community,
population.
yeah.
So that is something like, if somebody is very interested in curative side, then they have the other options, kind of, emergency medicine or the other courses. The other
Mm.
options also there. Somebody wants to do this kind of work, somebody wants to work on data, then epidemiology kind of courses would work. So anybody want to do field work kind of job, then public health would do. So that kind.
Okay. So is there any particular requirement for this admission in this course, like graduate or something?
No, so nothing that kind. But your BNYS should be completed by, prior to that exam, entrance exam. So that's the only criteria. and nothing else.
Okay, so just a bachelor's is required, a bachelor in medical science.
But yeah. And few institute, they require not. I mean, they accept other medical. I mean, other than medical degrees also. I mean,
Okay,
engineering and other course people also welcome for those institutes. So few institutes will only accept clinical people or medical people or paramedical or something related to health. So that's the only criteria.
any processes regarding the how a person should apply for this? It is in like for if you select a particular institute, or is there a nationalized examination or something for the MPH something?
Right. So there is no one single exam for all the entire institute. So there will be separate exam for each institute. So Tata Institute will conduct the exam in January 1st or second week, and their notification will generally be open from August, September, and so Tata Institute kind of completes all these admission procedures little bit early than other institutes. So every other institute will generally start up with January, February, giving notifications, and they'll kind of conduct this
So one
admission
has to
procedure in
be
March,
active
April,
in
or
every institute for that.
right. So most of them and start their classes from June, July.
Okay. So, any duration of the course, like regarding the course, which kind of subjects people are going to study, and what is the duration of the entire course?
Right. So basically, in the all institutes, MPH is generally 2 years. I don't know any exceptional universities or want to may give 3 years of 3 years master's course, but all these courses are generally 2 years courses. So that's one thing. And what was the other question? I forgot.
The questions or the subject they are going to study in the master's.
Oh, okay. Then again, it depends on that course you choose and the institute. So um, so my domain was health policy, economics, and finance. So we exclusively studied on health policy and economics part of it. I mean, economics, how much money we should put into, and what are the human resources, and what are the different components, cost, and everything. And then finance, who gonna finance it, those kind of. So, but other than these, basically biostatistics, gender health and environmental health, and these NCDs and maternal and child health. These all components are common in all the MPH courses. Epidemiology. Then comes global public health. So these are the basic
Yeah.
topics which every university covers. Yeah.
All right. So, if the person is pursuing for the masters and doesn't have any idea about MPH, so these are the things you have said that will help them. And another question is like that if he's preparing for the entrance exams as you have given. So, what kind of tips you would like to
Mhm.
suggest for them?
These are not so hectic entrance exams, and see, few university, let's say Hyderabad Central University, and these central universities will conduct exam only on the topics of health or health related, or community health or public health related. So that would be little bit easy being in naturopath. But if you are selecting, I mean, IAHMR and IAPH also kind of comes under this category only. But whereas Tata Institute and these kind of institutes, IIPS, then these institutes, they have one common entrance exam for all their courses. So
Okay.
you need to
Great.
be prepared in good in English, like so that comes in exam. And then aptitude, you should be not so well in aptitude, but average. And and you should be updated with all the news what is happening around you.
So, your mic is muted, sir.
I mean, like a social person, but you follow all the news and what's happening around. So that's kind of little bit enough. And
Yeah,
this
general knowledge questions.
Yeah. So, but if you, I mean, this has a little bit hectic one. Like kind of tough.
So again, you might got muted.
You know, to course BNIS course passed out student, they at least need 6 months of time to prepare all this. And I won't suggest by any aptitude or any common entrance exam textbooks will do.
Okay, so it's just on a perception and the knowledge you acquired in the BNY.
Yeah,
So what are the opportunities in abroad of the MPH?
right. So after doing MPH, then if you are very good in academics, you have worked in government, central government per se or state government for at least 2 years or 3 years. So the mostly other you can apply to the other countries and they'll very much allow you. And if there are few NGOs, I mean, like something like Doctors Without Borders or these kind of NGOs are there, they'll select you for few months projects. Like they call up you to work in South Africa for 9 months or 12 months on particular vaccination program or immunization program or work on HIV or those kind of options will be open. Or else these UNICEF, WHO, these kind of global organizations are open to work. But then again, you need to be very good in communication skills and yeah, really so it all depends on your how good you are in academics and your previous experiences.
Okay, so there is a vast opportunity available for the abroad abroad as
Yeah, so
well.
foreign opportunities. Yeah. Many of my classmates and juniors, they are doing now. Few are and some are selected. Some are working in WHO.
Oh wow.
So one of my junior is directly working.
So this is a great, I think, uh, lots of opportunities available for the MPH if person is doing and thinking to pursue.
Yeah, yeah, true. And other than these, there are so many NGOs working in India. So, but I have worked in Tata Trust, Care India. Now I'm in UNICEF. So there are certainly both so many organizations are there, and they will provide you good salary. And other than salary, you'll get so much exposure to learn, interact with people, what's happening, in the ground
But that's
level.
actually important.
Yeah. So these are all very important. I mean, if, NGOs which will always, if you have that vigor to serve community or go to field level and work and make some changes, then these are all NGOs open for you.
So what is your personal experience with the MPH now, as you are working in as MPH right now currently? So what is your personal experience and how do you share your life?
Okay, right. So now I worked in Tata Trust and then I worked in Care India. These are top organizations in India, frontline organizations in India. Then now I am in UNICEF. So everybody knows UNICEF.
Yeah.
So particularly I'm working in Gadchiroli, which is a underdeveloped area in Maharashtra. So previously I worked in a NCD program, implementing government NCD program. Then other than that, in Care India, I worked on maternal and child health program. Now I'm working largely on immunization and all. So for my experience, now in the working in UNICEF, Gadchiroli is very underdeveloped area, right? So I can see there is low, I mean, no accessibility for health for the people. People are unaware, and so many malpractices are happening there. Regarding health. I mean, like people are not ready to come to the hospital. I mean, instead, they go for pujari and the other people's local what we call them. So those kind of they prefer, and so many malpractices like you really go and see their they keep menstruating women in a separate house. So kurma houses they are called. And then after the delivery of the baby, they won't allow mother and child into the home for 1.5 month. That's those kind of practices are also there, and people don't give their blood for the testing also, because they there might be doctors will do black magic with that blood, kind of mindset people have there. So looking all these, like, there is a real need of somebody, and very much scope is there, and learning, that's a very best learning experience. So you are really identifying some newly born child, and you picking up, and you are educating their parents, and you started immunizing that child. You are literally saving one life, and making some good impact. So there is so much scope, and that kind of satisfaction you'll get is like I mean, is something. Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that. This is a wonderful experience you are having right now. I think it's so much of inspiring for the people that should continue. As a medical student life or medical intern life, we are prepared to learn for each and every step, I believe. So this is what you are getting, and that's wonderful. So next question is that why MPH is important for the society?
Yeah, yeah. So I encourage our BNOS. See,
Yeah, continue, sir.
yeah. So that's why I encourage our BNY students to. I mean, if somebody is not, I mean, not so much interested in clinical, want to do something else, then come down to, I mean, public health, and there will be a wonderful experience, and there is so much scope, and everything is open. So then regarding your next question, um, so you asked me about.
Yeah,
I
why
just forgot the
MPH is
question. Yeah.
important for the society? What is the
Yeah.
importance of MPH?
See, yeah. So I'll just share you one event. So this thing called
So your mic got muted. So it's still muted, sir.
outbreak.
We can,
Yeah.
yeah,
Now,
yeah, we can hear
now
you
I'm
now.
audible. Mhm. So 200
Yes, sir.
years back, it was a cholera outbreak in London. So since London is a modern modern civilization, right? So very early it was civilized. We have older civilization, Indus Valley civilization here, but they are modern civilization, but they used to not have this gutter system by then. So
Oh, okay.
they what they have Thames River, right? So they used to drink that water from that Thames River. So, and they, since they don't have this gutter system, they used to throw their fecal matter from outside from their balcony, and somebody will basically collect that fecal matter and throw it into Thames River. So that's how the entire water is contaminated, and they drink that same water from Thames River. So then this cholera outbreak has come and took large lives, right? So every 9 out of 10 people died, thinking like this civilization may end because of this cholera outbreak that time. So somebody, um, one scientist named Jon Snow, Jon Snow, right? You watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So Game of Thrones hero Jon Snow kind of so might be inspired by that Jon Snow. So uh, he is the father of public health. So he found that cholera organisms, pathogens in water. Then he kind of told everybody that this is a water contamination, and then after that they started cleaning up Thames River. Now Thames River is such that you directly drink water from Thames River and without filtering it. So now that is that pure. Then they started realizing about gutter system and everything. Huh? So if a clinician handles it, then how it will be? Like, he'll cure a cholera patient. That's it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But if you think of uh, eliminating that disease, eradicating, or you want to uh, I mean clear that the root cause of that particular problem. then that comes under scope of public health. So public health kind of targets large persons, and it really I mean like targets at the root cause level. That is very important. See, some area is endemic for particular disease. Some I'm working at Gadchiroli. Gadchiroli is endemic for malaria and dengue. So if you only treat malaria dengue patient, then there won't be so much impact. But if you work on mosquitoes, distributing mosquito nets or mosquito repellents, and you tell them, you create awareness about not having stagnant water, and how mosquitoes breed, what are mosquito larvae, pupa, and everything, then that may create very huge impact. Not immediately, but later.
Working on the root cause.
Yeah, you are working on a bigger, larger cause. So that's how it is. It works. So, so that is what the thing. So public health is a real what need of the hour, and the particular scenario, since COVID has happening, so everybody is realizing the role of public health now.
It is, the change the entire situation for the whole world. That
True. Yes. So people now started realizing about hand washing and personal hygiene and all those things. Wearing mask, and I hope this should be continued even after the corona also. Having mask and wearing mask and hand washing and all.
regarding, as you mentioned, the situation. So how the MPH is, handling the COVID situation right now?
MPH, yeah, they are very much involved. You see, after this COVID, now central government hired epidemiologists in almost every district of India. Almost 650-700 epidemiologists they hired, who deals with health data. So somebody has to be there, like districts, how many COVID cases are happening, and what is the trend of corona cases. It's going down or coming up, or somebody has to analyze and tell that what may gonna happen, and somebody should be there to warn according to data. So this
So your mic got muted.
realize the importance of this epidemiologist and all before, but now they are very much needed, and government realized it, and now large number of recruitments happening in public health department.
That's
Yeah.
great. I think that after the COVID, there's lots of opportunity has explored for the MPH, and person who are pursuing MPH, they can have more opportunities than before.
Yes, yeah, true.
So as I think we have covered almost the questions about the MPH. So now moving
Okay.
on to the few common questions I ask for the every speaker. So that so what are
Mhm.
your views on the natural healing system?
My views on naturopathy, natural healing system.
Yeah, exactly, sir.
As a nature healing system, uh, this is, I mean, like real. And see, now we moved from health to well-being now. So health is like
Yeah,
kind of morely, concentrating on curative part. So now we are, we shifted from health to well-being. Well-being is a larger component. Health kind of small component in well-being. So in the well-being, healthy lifestyle comes, healthy habits comes. So everything, you need to get rid of stressful life, and you need to have, you need to know what is a good health, good diet, balanced diet, and everything. You need to do exercise, everything. So these are all very much part of health, to preserve your health. These are all very much important. So now naturopathy plays very well, I mean, like major role in keeping healthy lifestyle, or what we spoke just now. And in the recent coming days, the cancer should be a biggest global disease, global burden of the global disease burden in maybe next coming
yeah.
10-15 years. So there would be so many cancer patients. So and so how cancer comes? So basically, then again, you need to concentrate on healthy living styles and stress-free life and diet and exercise. So these plays, always a major role. And so everything at last would be, nature cure or natural healing system only. Yeah, that's how simply I can put it together. If we keep on talk on this, we can go on. But anyhow, yeah,
Yeah, it's a long topic, and as a BNYS, I can understand that how natural healing system inspire us to speak.
right, yeah.
As per you, what are the correlation between the MPH and the naturopathy?
Okay, so um, see, MPH, being an MPH, or you getting the job after MPH, you need to have clinical knowledge, for doing all these things. So see, I am working now for the maternal and child health, and previously also I worked in maternal child health or adolescent health, or let's say infant or child health. So uh, I so in the public health course, they may tell you what is a program guidelines and how to implement. But beside these, what are the diseases, who is newborn, what are the, what is this vaccination, how it works and everything. So being a clinician or being a medical student, we have that advantage, so like all this clinical aspect of this thing. So you obviously have that advantage, and public health is more related to you than other person, I mean, like a non-medical person. And um, and yeah, naturopathy or nature cure has so much to do with public health. It plays major role. um like, how to say it, like, well, basically, then again, same this um healthy
Yeah,
food and
they're
exercise
having
and
the
everything.
same
Yeah.
principle.
Mhm. So those kind of things.
As I believe that, as you mentioned, both are the working on the root causes. Naturopathy is also giving the treatment on the root cause, and public health is also based on the removing the root cause. So I think they both have, the same principle for working. And that's my perspective.
Yeah, true. And we can keep on, I mean, like, there are so interrelated things, like, if somebody has a menstrual problem, like, somebody has menorrhagia or hemorrhagia kind of things. If you go and tell them, like, a cold hip bath will do. If you create awareness among the people, if these are feasible options, particularly naturopaths should reach rural areas and go, like, these are all the simpler options, easy options available. These are the easy foods available for you, for this particular disease, and there is particular diseases there. You can treat them with the food and basic things available at your kitchen and all. So then this, I mean, uh, so यहाँ पर what's happening here? We are increasing the accessibility to the health, because these small remedies are available at their home only. Or in a hip bath, or they can arrange small tub and do it. So this naturopathy has so much to do in public health. But our kind of, I really don't know, our naturopaths are really reaching to the rural people and doing all these things. But those who are doing, they're really great. So, but naturopathy should be in the front line to do all these things. Like, our main thing is like educating people, right? Not only
Yeah,
treating, right?
exactly.
Educating. So public health is very much about educating people. So that's how it works. Yeah.
So I think it's a privilege to have a naturopathy and doing a public health as a master for the BNY students.
Correct. Like any other than my, I feel like if somebody's from allopathy or homeopathy or these kind of people, then naturopathy has bigger scope. And being a naturopathy, you'll get this so much advantage if you have naturopathy and MPH combined together. Then you start working in the community. Then you realize there would be so many things you can do at the personal level, and it's something interesting.
So moving on to next questions, what are the skills, as per your view, that what are the skills should a healthcare professional have for a successful career?
For skills for to do what?
So skills to have a successful career for a healthcare professional.
Successful career. Okay, then it's see, if you need to be very clear what you want to do. If somebody is very interested in clinical side and do your part, then like if you're somebody who is kind of want to become a professor or good at teaching, or somebody is good at research, so what you want to do, be clear on that and work hard for the same what you want to do. So that's enough. The remaining things will fall in place automatically. So that, and when naturopaths have, I mean, like all the other medical courses try to dominate naturopaths, not in larger level, but in the personal and individual levels also. So, realize that naturopathy is a, a greatest medicine. So you have that confidence, and wherever you go, carry that and be confident at every level. We are not like so we should be superior to other medicine, a kind of feeling you should have inside. And then you should, I mean, really, I'm telling you, in the naturopathy, people who has good communication skills, they always come up with very good career and everything. So communication skills are very important in naturopathy. How you speak and behave, and how you interact with people, and how you maintain network, and what is your relation with seniors and in the community. So that really matters. And if you have these
Thank you so
small
much
kind
for the, yeah. Yeah.
a little bit, I want to say, like, we are, see, being medical students, we really don't know much about MS Office and all this. So we're making documents and making presentations, right?
The basic knowledge of a
So
computer.
so if somebody is very good at this, so at least, I mean, because we are clinical people, we don't have that much exposure to all this. So if somebody interested, explore that also, learn documentation skills and presentation skills, make PPTs and present wherever possibility. If you get opportunity to speak anywhere, in any dais, or you'll get the opportunity to present anywhere, just grab it and go for it. So those really will improve your confidence and communication skills.
So I think that these are the suggestions. I think everyone would love it, and these are also help me for the having a successful career in future. So thank you so much for this suggestion. As we are reaching to the end of the session, the last thing I wanted to ask from my side is that, as you have such an inspiration profile, so what are your message for all the students and interns who are listening to us right now?
So since our session is basically career opportunities in MPH or administration, this kind of thing. So now what's happening? Naturopathy colleges are increasing. Number of seats are increasing now. It expanded to all over India. Every state has a naturopathy college now, and still it is increasing. So just don't remain in one particular field, or don't only concentrate on clinical side, or naturopathy and wellness centers and all these. These are happenings. That's fine. Just come out of it. We have larger domains open. We can do in so many other things. So just come out and explore other opportunities, so that there will be always people who follow you. So, see, I personally, like, few naturopaths, they asked me, so, how to do MPH and all those things. So I have done. So few people may follow. I mean, like, there are chances of few people may follow me. So if you have done something else, so then few people may follow you, and our uh, community, naturopathic community will expand, go to other reach other levels. No, they should have presence in every domain. One naturopathy should be there in Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, one should be there in state departments and everywhere, so that we can we have that strength, right? That is very
Yeah,
important.
totally agreed with that.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, sir. It was a wonderful session and lovely talking with you. And I think we can utilize your knowledge and perception again, once again, if we had the opportunity. So, and
Sure,
yeah,
sure.
thank you
Thank
so
you
much
so
for your
much.
love. Yeah, continue, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we had a lovely chat with you, and I think we will get touch in with you in future. And all the students who are listening to you are very much motivated with you, and you give all the information about the MPH was so. And this is a lovely that you gave us your valuable time from your schedule. So we are thankful for that, sir.
Thank you so much, Deeksha, for reaching out to me and this opportunity. I should thank Bhavit. What is his name? He's also Bhavit. Thank
Yeah,
you.
welcome on behalf of him, sir, as well.
Thank you.